listening to the Shared Security Podcast with Tom Eston and Scott Wright, exploring the trust you put in people, apps, and technology.
This is your Shared Security Weekly Blaze for June 25th, 2018, with your host, Tom Eston. In this week's episode, MyLobot malware, updates on third-party location data sharing, and Fortnite scam websites. The Shared Security Podcast is sponsored by Silent Pocket. With their patented Faraday cage product line of phone cases, wallets, and bags, you can block all wireless signals, which will make your devices instantly untrackable, unhackable, and undetectable. Visit silent-pocket.com for more details. Hi everyone, I'm Tom Eston, co-host of the Shared Security Podcast. Welcome to the Shared Security Weekly Blaze, where we update you on the top 3 security and privacy topics from the week. These weekly podcasts are published every Monday and are 15 minutes or less, quickly giving you news that you can use. A new serious form of malware called MyLobot, apparently named after the researcher's pet dog, was discovered by security firm Deep Instinct. This new form of malware is quite dangerous as it will make infected systems part of a large botnet and has the ability to install Trojans, keyloggers, conduct DDoS attacks, as well as ensure that it cannot be detected and even run executable files from within system memory. Having executable files run from within memory is a newer technique only discovered by malware researchers in 2016 and makes detecting this type of malware much more difficult. Researchers have indicated that this particular form of malware is quite advanced and not the typical work of an amateur. In addition to all this, there is an interesting delay feature which will not allow the malware to communicate to its command and control services for approximately 2 weeks. This delay was put in to avoid detection from modern endpoint detection and other techniques which usually pick up malware infections like these. To top it all off, the malware will attempt to detect and disable other types of malware already installed, effectively eliminating other malware competition. Deep Instinct researchers indicate that this type of advanced malware is being sold on the dark web for purchase, and that, quote, other than the malware itself, malware developers can purchase services that assist in the infection process. An attacker can purchase access to exploit kits, buy traffic of tens of thousands of users to a web page, or even buy a full ransomware as a service for his own use. End quote. As we've mentioned on the podcast before, one of the primary ways that malware can get installed on your computer is through phishing and social engineering. There are, of course, other such ways, such as drive-by downloads from malicious ads and compromised websites hosting malicious code. Besides being more aware of phishing and social engineering, you can help defend your computer by keeping your system patched and up to date, as well as using ad blocking web browser plugins like uBlock Origin and web tracker prevention plugins like EFF's Privacy Badger. Check out our show notes for details on where to download and how to install these plugins. Are you a CISO or information security manager challenged with tracking and managing information security incidents within your organization? If you are, you need to take a look at CISO Box, which is a software appliance built for NIST-compliant management of all types of information security incidents. CISO Box secures and protects sensitive incident data using technology accredited by U.S. federal intelligence agencies and gives your organization an efficient and streamlined process for incident handling. No matter if your business is large or small, we highly recommend the CISO Box solution as it's extremely easy to use, scalable, and a secure way to implement incident handling within your organization. For more information on the CISO Box solution and to schedule a demo, visit cisobox.com/shared security. That's cisobox.com/shared security. This week, I wanted to provide an update on the previous news we mentioned on the podcast a few weeks ago regarding how the major wireless carriers were selling your real-time location data to various third-party companies. Just this past week, Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint announced that they will no longer share customer location data with third-party data aggregators, like the particular company we discussed on the podcast called Location Smart. This change was most likely due to the investigation conducted by Senator Ron Wyden, who had sent a letter to Verizon questioning the reason behind allowing real-time location data to be sent to shady third-party companies. In addition, on Friday, it was announced by the EFF that a new ruling by the United States Supreme Court said that cell phone location data is protected by the Fourth Amendment. The court also rejected the government's argument that sensitive data held by third parties is automatically devoid of constitutional protection. Ironically, on Friday, I received a privacy notice update from my wireless carrier AT&T, noting that because of the merger with Warner Media, previously known as Time Warner, that data sharing was now taking place between both companies. In reading this revised privacy policy, I noted that you can now opt out of location sharing either from each individual third party or through the AT&T privacy settings on your account. I'm not sure if this new feature was due to recent controversy about third-party location data sharing, GDPR, or perhaps it's always been there. However, we highly recommend researching this setting on your own through your mobile carrier's website and opting out if you don't want to have your location data shared with third parties. Do your kids play Fortnite? If so, you should be aware of scam websites that are capitalizing on the huge popularity of the game, targeting young players to steal money and login credentials. The creators of Fortnite, Epic Games, are warning that many scam websites are offering free or heavily discounted virtual currency called V-Bucks. V-Bucks is the virtual currency that's used within the Fortnite game. In April alone, it's estimated that players have spent $296 million on this virtual currency. In response to this recent rise in scams, Epic Games sent an email to players stating that, quote, "Beware of scam sites offering things like free or discounted V-Bucks. The only official websites for Fortnite are epicgames.com and fortnite.com." End quote. Epic Games also noted that players should double-check to ensure they are using the real Epic Games website when purchasing V-Bucks, and that they also enable two-factor authentication on their Fortnite accounts. As mentioned before on the podcast, it's highly recommended to enable two-factor authentication wherever possible. Unfortunately, many companies have two-factor authentication as an optional feature that you have to specifically enable. Be sure to take the time to find out if the games and services you use have two-factor authentication and enable this service to add an additional layer of security to your accounts. That's a wrap for this week's show. Please be sure to follow the Shared Security Podcast on all the regular social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for frequent posts, commentary, and updates. If you have feedback or topic ideas for the show, you can email us at feedback@sharedsecurity.net. First-time listener to the podcast? Please subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Weekly Blaze.